Let's talk about things that I've discovered and learned and gonna do and everything else. I got my diodes today. I was sort of hoping that this meter here on continuity would check a diode, but it doesn't. You do have to have a dedicated diode checking device. I got some various LED bulbs. I don't know, for something different stuff. This doesn't work. Made me sad, so I had to get this. And I've already been working on it, and I'd rather have a volt gauge anyway. I've already been doing some work on fixing it up. So I got to put this on the TR4. Choke cable's not too necessary in this part of the world in early July, but so you got to have your priorities straight. I got some wiring to do. So where did that go? Yeah, so I've got a wire. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off my braided line and hook it onto my new battery cable. You know that I went there and they didn't have, you have to buy the bolt separately. So that's okay, I got bolts. I know it's a keyed bolt and all that stuff, but really? How many times do you mess with a thing? So I couldn't find one that was the right length with the extra wire coming out that I needed. So I'm going to just have to sort of meatball that thing on in there. I don't know if that thing was original or not, but I'm going to use it. It looks like it's taking a beating, so wherever it's taking a beating, I'm going to put it back. So I have learned, I went in and studied my diagrams, and I think that this was, as a matter of fact, I'm almost 99% sure, this was a built-in horn relay. So there are the two plugs, the two spades, and they go, let's put this over here, I've been soldering, and I believe that that's what this is, and this is some kind of aftermarket horn relay. Look at you, got stuff everywhere. And so I'm getting ready to ring out which one of these. Now my guess is this black wire goes to the horn, and these two wires, goes to the horn button on the wheel. Of course it goes to the horn if it's a horn relay. And throw that away. Ooh, that's pretty bad. And it looks to me like those would go to the horns. So let's hook this thing up, and now you got to be careful with this. You really want to ring out on continuity which one's the horn button. And my memory is such that this horn button is a little squirrely. It's you see it used to, don't see them much anymore. A lot of people will break these rings, especially impatient people. They'll break those rings right off. So it's not exactly rare to have one, but you do kind of know the personality of the person that owned it before. I don't think I'm going to be doing. Yeah, I got more soldering to do. I forgot. So let's see which one of these. I'm pretty certain it's that one, is the horn. We can do that with the continuity with the fluke. But before we do that, now, y'all stick with me. Well, that was a long one with Sean. Sean just left a few minutes ago. And so I'm out here in the steamy heat trying to just get some things done. It's almost 8:30, so it's pleasant enough out here. So this is your diode, and if you want to know what they are, they're those things right there, Zener diodes. And so I put the fluke on continuity, sort of hoping that it might give me a buzz one way or the other, and it doesn't. I just kind of felt like it might. I don't know, but it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. So, as useful and wonderful a tool as that is, and how often do you check diodes? Not very often. This has Greenlee 93606. They probably don't make it anymore, but it's got the diode checker right there, and let's just see. I'm going to do that. See, I'm getting a reading down there of 0.56. You probably can't see it, but I can see if I can do everything here. So you get a reading there, and then if you flip it over, you should get nada. And it's pretty cool way. And I've had people ask me through the years how do diodes do that? How do they know? Let's just do this for fun too. But you got to have a diode in the system if you want a light. And let's just see if this picks up the voltage. Nope. I might have it going backwards. I don't know. No, don't pick up the voltage. It's probably just not enough in that old meter. But I'm sure it's going to be fine. I guess I could just walk over here and put it on the flipping battery. So let's see. Let's just check that out. And we don't want to be on here anymore anyway. We're going to be checking the horn with the flute meter in a second. So we got the negative on this side. And just before you put anything in, especially when you got that going for you, you want to make sure that it works. And I'm not disparaging anybody. I just wanted to make sure it works. So let's see. You could end up in a disastrous situation here. So let's not do that. Well, I don't think you can see. I don't think there's any. I'll just tell you if it works. There's no way. I'm not going to set up a tripod for all that. Let's just see if it works. It's okay. It checked out. It shows, like 12.6 volts, which is exactly what you would want. So it's pretty accurate because I've checked it with a meter not long ago, and that's what it was showing. So let's ring out this horn. All right, let's find out what we can find out here. So we're going to lose that stupid wire there. We're not going to lose track of those, I don't think. Okay, so let's see if there's any markings on this of any kind. There don't seem to be. A little overspray, might be in me. But that, I don't know. Oh, there's a 5 and a 2 and a 3 and a something, but I don't think that's going to be anything I'm going to be too concerned about keeping, because if I do this, I'm going to put one of my fancy relays on. Alright, so let's test this thing and see if we get continuity through the horn button. Let's see if that's going to happen to us here. Here we go. And I believe it's going to be this black wire. And you don't want that touching anything. Just hook it to right there. So when I hit the horn button, she ought to go beep beep. Hear it? So that's true. Well, that'll help me sleep tonight. So we don't need the fluke meter anymore. And let's see if we can get the horns to blow. Now, I have extremely sensitive hearing, so I have to wear this noise abatement all the time. I'm pretty good at modulating my voice even with those. So we're thinking that this is going to blow the horns. Let's get the one that's a little longer. And don't want to put the wrong one. Okay, should get the horns to blow. Yay! Okay. Well, it is late on a holiday. I shouldn't have done that. But our dogs are barking, so that's the way it goes. So let's do a little bit of soldering. I got to solder this into my new battery cable because it is I couldn't get that lead on it. So, well, that answers that. That answers a lot of questions. What was that old box? What was that relay? I never really knew. And so all I got to do is I'll have to run a direct wire to power from my relay, one to earth. Got plenty of earthing opportunities there. And then I got my other 2 wires wrung out, and one goes to the switch. That'll be the white wire, I think. And the other one goes to 87. I think it's just 87 on the relay. Okay, well, yeah, you can look up relays. It's not hard. We won't blow them tonight, though. So I've got this ready to go. I'm glad to have a little red on there because I couldn't find a red cable. I don't know what's going on. I guess nobody's doing what I'm doing anymore, or few of us are. So I stripped back some of the insulation from the new battery cable. I made 3 piercings, and I took them through, and I've got them ready to solder. I think that my soldering iron will melt it in there, and then all I got is tape. I'm not going to be too concerned about putting anything else here. If I need to tap into something else, I will. I've made this wire to go to the voltmeter up under. I'm going to have to put it under the dash. I wanted to put it under here somewhere, but I think there's been some stuff under the dash already, and I think it's just better. I'm still pondering if I'm going to put a warning light in it, but I don't think you need both. I don't think you need a volt gauge and a light, so that just might overcomplicate things. I did find out that I had a bad alternator in the TR4 by just the gauge. And it's pretty obvious, you know, you turn the key on and you get the 12.6, and then you crank it and it goes down to, you know, like 4 and bumps back up. And you can tell. You can tell because you should be getting 14 something. So if you're not getting that, you know something's wrong. So that'll be good enough. Let's solder this up, and then we're going to have to call it night. It's almost 9. That looks pretty heinous, but it's soaked through. So I mean, this little thing here, you turn it up, and you can get some action. So that'll be good enough. I'm sure that that's still hot, and it is. And you can tell that I put it on the underside because when you got this little lip right here, this is the underside of the terminal. And so let's let that cool off. Don't run water on it or anything. Just let it sort of naturally cool off. And even this little stand worked out well for me. That's some heavy stuff. Was that 4.0 something, and then the other stuff. So that's going to be nice. I'm very, very pleased with that. And so we're getting there. Here's my let's see, earth hot when not energized direct battery power switch and load, and that is hot when energized. So very simple stuff. Used to be, I suffered over that greatly, but now what do I get those? Where do I get those? What are those? They come with the pigtails and everything. This right here, 30-40 amp Bosch style, which means they're not Bosch, but they're pretty good. EP Auto. I think I only got one left, but I got a bunch of old ones over there I can use in an emergency. But they're pretty nice. They come with. I hope there's one in there. There it is. Sneaking around in there, so there's an extra one. But having the little pigtails just nice. I mean, that just makes things a lot nicer. Okay, well, tomorrow we'll do some more soldering. But for night it's night. It's nighttime. 9 o'clock, Blue Weber time. So I have run my wires to that and soldered them and taped them best I could, and that's about all you can do. And I always use the best tape I can get, which is, Scotch 3M Super 33 Plus. I got this stuff too. It's not great, but it's still 3M. It's not as good as this, but I got a bunch of it, so I'm going to try to use it. So we're getting closer and closer, and there's nothing there that's going to take off tonight or anything like that. So I've already seen a mosquito, so that generally means I go in. I'm not out here to feed mosquitoes. So everything's turned off. All right, well, let's go in. Start again tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be cooler in the morning. I'm tired of just stuttering, so let's just go in. I have elected to reuse this old junction block because that's all it is. It's just nothing. I am a little afraid of this being hot. At least you know that it's hot. You might use it one day. I don't know. I'm going to just put all the old junk back in it, the old horn relay, and then just not going to worry about it. Now I'm going to make sure that I mark this. See how I'm going to use that again? Y'all got that? Okay, see how that's working? There you go, and that's all we got to do. And since I can look at the bottom of it, I can see, I can get that, and then that's pretty just a direct unit there. So I'm just going to mark that kind of with a little red mark, and then I'll know that's the hot side. So if I need something, I can just use that for hot. And I feel pretty certain I'm not too scared of anything happening here. I might just tape that off, but no, I don't want to mess with this thing anymore, and I have to. I consider this to be somewhat. I wonder why the holes are. That one seems to be a little bigger, but whatever. Okay, so let's put this back on there, and let's wire up us a relay for the horn, and then I'll probably wrap this one up. But the good thing is, see, I found these old bolts. They were in a bag, and these are those swedged kinds of ends. And I was talking to somebody about that the other day. You always go in on the flat side, of course. And I got that going for me, so when I get everything on there, I can put that on there and lock her down. But for now, we're not going to do that. We're just going to until we're sure. We're gonna keep that right there. Always something there to remind us. That really lets me down. I was kind of looking forward to. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of reminding me, I ran the wire for at least as a check to for my voltmeter. Let's see if it comes on. I know the fan's on. Please forgive me. It's 95, 96 degrees in here. All right, so there you go. It's showing voltage. And what's that funky shadow? But anyway, there you go, and it lights up. And the other stuff's not lighting up because that's sort of just a one-wire hookup. So I'm going to hook that up to the back of the alternator, of course, when that time comes. Okay, let's get this relay out and do that stuff. Okay, things get a mite tricky on an earthed relay setup. Y'all trust me, don't you? Okay, I hope you do. So I'm going to turn this on. Hey, like that. Don't you wish you had a setup like that? Well, let me tell you, I can't possibly take that noise. Okay, everybody, hang on a second. Just going to take just a second. So when you want to trigger a relay on earth instead of through power through a switch, things change on you a little bit. You have, that's okay. I was explaining to the folks here about how you very keenly discovered that the bezel around my choke cable was not correct for an MGB. Sean's always on top of things. Well, come over here and I'll show you. When you want to use I found the problem. I didn't have that tight enough down, so I got it now. So when this is a funky kind of relay because I'm using earth as the switch. Because generally, you see, Sean, you just run the relay to earth, but you can use this side of it as a switch instead of going the white wire. Usually you run that to your switch, and then you take that to your 20 amps of power or whatever you're doing. Mm-hmm. And so, but in this case, you run both blue and white to power through a very healthy, in this case, 40 amp fuse because it's a horn, so it's going to pull some amps. So your yellow goes to load, So the yellow wire goes to the 2 horns. And let's see. So red is not being used in this circumstance because that's hot when it's not excited, and when it's excited, yellow comes on to 87, 87. Of course, everybody knows that. So we're not gonna go into that. So now I have a relay that is excited and will engage with the black wire, which is normally not used. I've had to do this a couple of times. So here we go. Ready?
Fire that mother up. Nice loud horn.
Now, if that's almost twice as loud as it was last night when I just sparked it off. It just kind of it didn't really. How'd it go again? But I knew it was doing something. So therefore, that's how you do that. So I got that. I cleaned up that old junction box, and I got her right here. I got a bunch of stuff going to it, and it's just the way it is. Now they had to do this junction box because that stupid fuse box down there just can't handle all this amperage. So they had to come up with some other way, and that's the old horn relay, and that's going to be always hot right there. So I got to remember that I have to cover that with something. So there you go. I can get my shrink tube on there now, and that is the very rare relay that is excited and actuated with earthing.
For the Neanderthals, it means negative or ground.
It depends on your car.
Okay.
From 1968 on, generally it means negative.
Gotcha.
But a lot of old British cars are positive earth.
Gotcha.
They used to have T-shirts. We used to have T-shirts at car shows, and it had the positive sign and the planet.
Okay.
And that was positive earth.
Gotcha.
And that's just sort of an inside joke for.
Right on.
You get it?
Yeah,
It's positive. Okay, you get
Yeah.
it. Oh yeah. You can't get anything past him.